Hello world, hello Australia, Jamie here, the Crypto Koala. Now today guys, Jay Zhou, he's the CMO and co-founder at Loopring. Jay, it's good to have you here today, mate. Now I understand you're in Shanghai at the moment.
Hey Jamie, happy Australian Day. Thanks for inviting me.
Yeah, thank you,
Yes,
Jay. Yeah,
I'm-
happy Australia Day, mate. Now I understand that you've been to Australia in the past, which is pretty awesome. What did you do over here?
I attend a university in Australia, UNSW in Macquarie. Yeah, that was back in years ago.
Oh,
Good
awesome.
memory, good times.
Awesome, man. So I understand that you potentially could be coming over here soon.
Yes, actually, I'm coming to Australia in 2 weeks. Brisbane and Sydney mostly.
Oh, wow, that's awesome. So you're actually coming to Queensland. I'm actually based in Queensland. I'm based up in the northern Queensland. So, yeah, you'll be coming from there where it's cold in Shanghai over to where it's nice and warm. So, actually, pretty warm. So, yeah, I hope you really enjoy yourself, Jay. So being in Shanghai, I just want to preempt the viewers, just where Jay's in China, the VPNs there are not so good. So if it does lag a bit, that'll be why. It's just because of the VPNs in China. So being in Shanghai, Jay, and you're right in the middle of China. In your own opinion, do you think Chinese government is becoming more friendlier to crypto?
Um, I do not think so. I mean, like cryptocurrency is still, a illegal and banned in mainland China. But the Chinese government already realized the importance of the blockchain technology. So what they did is they start to experiment the blockchain technology in Hong Kong and Hainan Island. So those two islands are apart away from the mainland China. So the government can use those two areas as a experimental zone to develop the blockchain technology. The Hong Kong government actually just launched the sandbox to regulate the blockchain fund, the crypto fund, and the centralized exchange. And we are also involved as part of the program. So hopefully there's a good news coming soon.
Oh, awesome. So I understand your Loop Ring Foundation could be a part of Hong Kong, part of that regulation process, which sounds really exciting.
Yeah, we give them we actually write some report regarding to the stablecoin, and also going to write another security token report to them, and also give them advice like how to use blockchain technology in traditional financial area, or for the stock market, or auditing, like internal management, like or like those kind of things. Yeah.
Awesome. Wonder we can touch a bit more on that later on, Jay. So just in a nutshell, could you tell us what Loop Ring is?
Okay. Uh, Loopring is a decentralized exchange solution. So say in a excuse me, I got a big cold. So we create an API to enable people to build up decentralized exchange on the top of its own crypto wallet, provide non-custodian solutions.
Okay, that sounds awesome, man. So I just want to reference recently with Cryptopia and the Cryptopia hack, where it's very close to home. People reference Mt. Gox, but this only happened recently. And I'll just give you a bit of a backstory, Jay. I actually had a bag of smart cash. I had a hold of smart cash on Cryptopia. They turned around to me one day and said, "Oh, we're delisting smart cash, and we're not going to reimburse you for that amount." I said, "Could you please be able to compensate me for that?" And they turned around and said that they won't. So that was just something that points out as a weakness for the centralized exchanges. And centralized exchanges have can be hacked. Now, DEXs are far more secure, and I find that DEXs and the protocols behind them are going to be really important. For example, with Binance. Now, Binance is recently announced that they're going to set up a decentralized exchange. So I think that they want to tap into that market. Now, I understand that there are advantages and disadvantages to centralized exchanges. And one of them being that a lot of people choose centralized exchanges for the volume.
Decentralized exchange actually provide endless options for consumers, individuals that you can have a better options to like trade your tokens. You know what, Bolivia, and as we know, the situation in Bolivia right now is really bad because the petrol tokens, and the government got bankrupt. And guess what? The Bolivia government actually had a large amount of gold reserve in the Bank of England. And they won't ask the Bank of England to give back the gold to Bolivia government. Then the Bank of England says, no, we cannot withdraw your, we cannot open the withdrawal for you. You know, like even like such a central bank of the government, they can, reject those kind of. I think it's pretty rational or pretty understandable offer or no offer. It's like a request, and so like for like a lot of individuals like us, it's pretty much we compared to those like centralized institutions, we pretty much have no like there's no power for us, or no for example, if like the banks, if the centralized bank says we're closed today, you cannot withdraw any token, or you cannot withdraw any fiat. For example, if you use Westpac and you want to withdraw your cash, then the Westpac says, sorry, we're closed. The system is down. And then you have to wait. There's no other options for you. Individuals are so like vulnerable. It's so unfair, this system. But the future can change. Technology can change the future. So blockchain or decentralized system or technology can help us and to change the position, and it can be more equal or equalized, or can give us a fair treatment, back to the question that Binance, they are working with the Singaporean government, but Binance is also launching its own decentralized exchange. It's called Binance Chain. We don't have much information regarding the design, consensus, governance of the upcoming Binance Chain, but I do expect it to be a side chain with some kind of POS or depose, like consensus with an on-chain order book and a matching engine, which should be similar to Ether data. But me personally, I like one application per side chain idea, but the security of such a sidechain should be evaluated before the swapping a large amount of asset from a main chain to the sidechain. Now most people have gained the knowledge of blockchain technology itself doesn't guarantee security. It is consensus algorithm. And the distribution of block mining power and decentralized governance that collectively decides how security it can be. The same blockchain data code base can create very different blockchain ecosystems. One way may be very distributed and security, and the others can be very weak in security guarantees. We will see how Binance distributes the mining power and yet control the others. If there is none done right, such a sidechain basis stacks are just another form of centralized exchange to fool people. I hope Binance can do it well. Loopring also working with a project called Dollar. about the sidechain. So we will see.
Yeah, great stuff, Jay. I just going through the white paper and something that Daniel wrote on there is that you have a philosophical dilemma with centralized exchanges. Now, the thing is that crypto in its nature is decentralized, and the uses of decentralization is what's going to hopefully revitalize the financial system. So, but when you put in a centralized exchange, you're removing that layer. You're putting a layer of centralization into a decentralized cryptocurrency. So I think that decentralized exchanges fit into the actual philosophical idea of cryptocurrency. So moving on, Jay. So do you think with the Loopring protocol, you'll be able to assist decentralized developers that wanted to build a decentralized platform or mobile wallet that want to list security tokens that want to target STOs? So, for example, you had Polymath, and they turned around and said to Loopring, we would like to have a token exchange feature on a wallet or build a DEX where you can basically trade security tokens. Could that be something, Jay, that Loopring be able to assist with?
Yes, definitely. I mean, actually, we are already in contact with Polymath. We are thinking of like issue the security token on the Polymath system platform.
Oh, wow, Jay. Yeah, that's pretty amazing.
Yeah. The reason we say that is because I can disclose a little bit of information about this. Like we are working with a let me think how to say it because I cannot fully disclose this information. So as I said before, the Hong Kong government just opened a sandbox to regulate or monitor the crypto exchange and crypto fund, and we want like get one of the license, or not us. I mean, like we want to help our partners to get one of those license to be a regular decentralized exchange. It could be the like a world first licensed decentralized exchange to be able to trade security tokens. Yes, that's why one of the reasons why we want to work with Polymath.
I understand the PYC is something that was researching. Would that be that PYC collaboration in with Hong Kong with the sandbox, the stable coins, having that overview of trust for stable coins? Am I in the right direction there, Jay?
Yes. Yes, and we will not add the KYC components to our own protocol. So the decentralized exchange operator really should fulfill with KYC duty and the whitelist KYC address off-chain or on-chain. It will be a hybrid approach. So it's not from a protocol layer. It will be from like a relay, like a order book. So the KYC process and the result should be verifiable by the regulators, while the DEX protocol don't need to access that information.
Okay, so say like the relays for say the actual wallets, the wallets that want to have the decentralized exchanges, well, the token exchanges are in the wallets.
Yeah, I don't expect KYC to be as decentralized as crypto asset itself. KYC is transfer of credit from one party to another. Regulators need to find someone to blame and find if something bad happens.
Yeah, definitely, Jay. Well, I wonder if you had to just talk about the history of Loopring from when you launched. So you launched at the end of 2017 on Ethereum. You raised an insane amount of money, an insane amount of Ethereum. So from the start of when you launched, when you started on Ethereum, what did you do in 2018? What was the key sort of events for Loopring?
So the protocol was deployed on the Ethereum blockchain mainnet by the end of 2017, but we raised the fund was in the middle of 17. So we took about half a year to deploy our protocol to the mainnet. Then, like last year, what we really focused on is we tried a lot of things last year actually. We learned a lot and also learn a lot from mistakes, and we also achieve a lot of things. Our Loopring Protocol 2.0, it's very unique stuff. You cannot, especially compared to the other DEX protocol. It's totally, it would be like, it's kind of brand new. You will never heard of the idea like that, and it's already available now. So for Loopring Protocol 2.0, it's also our Protocol 2.0 also differentiate between us and 0x. So like for the other decentralized exchange protocol, you can only use your own token to pay the transaction fees. But with our Protocol 2.0, you can use any kind of ERC 2.0 token to pay the transaction fees, which will give you more user-friendly. Because before you can have, if you don't have Loopring token like LRC, you cannot pay, you cannot place the order, you know, because the relay only takes LRC as a service fee or trading fees. But right now you can pay with any kind of ERC 2.0.
Cool. So, from my understanding, what makes you distinctly different in OX and OX, for example, would be the ring matching feature. Now, if I've got this right, one of the main advantages,
it's additional feature.
Additional feature. What I see is that what highlights to me is really good. The more dexes, the more relays that you have, the combined liquidity from that mechanism is a really good feature. So it just amplifies the liquidity, if I've got that right. Later on in the year, you did try to go on to Neo, but you encountered some troubles. Could you be able to just say roughly what they were, Jay?
Initially, LRN token supposed to work as same way as LRC token work on Neo blockchain. But LRN token now will no longer be the Loopring fee on Neo blockchain, because we find there's a lot of troublesome with Neo blockchain's fee models, and it takes a lot of resource to solve it. To be honest, we're still waiting for the Neo 3.0 come out. It still has not out yet, and we cannot wait, because instead of just waiting for the Neo 3.0 come out, we rather just develop the sidechain and the cross-chain technology to solve this problem. And we also introduced the community the Loopring DEX sidechain. A great part of LRN tokens we hope will be locked in a smart contract and be gradually mined by the block miners. So LRN will also be used as the government token in the sidechain.
Okay, that's cool. So you're thinking of going through in 2018 development-wise for Loopring. So you chose Neo, done some testing out there, and done some learning from that, and exploring in the future, possibly looking at cross-chain interoperability in the future with side chains. Now, is this something, you don't have to speak on behalf of Loopring, Jay, but is there anything that's caught your eye, other public blockchains you potentially will try to tap into in the future?
From my own perspective, I would say I do personally I did spend a bit of time to research some other public blockchain like Definity, like Algorand, also another 2 public blockchains in China, one called Bumong, another called Penta. Um, but from Loopring's perspective, I don't think like we would work on another public blockchain in the short term. Um, because we rather decide to spend more time on sidechain and cross-chain development.
Okay, it's fair enough. So putting your effort
We
in.
also working with OneChain on the. We also try to deploy our protocol on OneChain, and OneChain is like a protocol for cross-chain technology.
Yes. So I noticed that you have developers, you have decentralized applications, and you have relayers using the Loopring protocol to develop um, the wallets. The wallets have the ability to have token exchange on them. So I think it's really good for adoption, where I can go around on my phone. The private keys are left on my phone, and I can do trading on my phone. So just wondered, Jay, because I think it's going to be a really good, important feature for decentralized trading in the future. So what's your take on that, Jay, with the Waldex?
I think it's definitely will happen sometime in the near future, especially in Africa, because people in Africa, they do not have identities. What they have is smartphones. So it will be a real application, a real case, probably in Africa. People start to use the application on a mobile phone, start to trade, to pay, um, or to do the exchange service with cryptos.
Oh yeah, definitely. I can see the use cases. It'd be just so convenient, be so easy to use. Now, what incentives? So just going on to your token now. So we've talked about the LRN token. I want to talk about a little bit more about the LRC token. So how is it used? Just quickly, Jay, how is the LRC token used? What incentives are there to hold a token?
Any kind of Loopring protocol integrate DEX or wallet, you need to pay the transaction fees, which if you pay with the LRC tokens, you will receive like 50% of discount compared to if you pay with the other ERC20 tokens.
So ultimately, you get a discount in the trading fees with the LRC token.
Yes, yes. And also, if there's any other project, they want to develop any, if they want to develop the DEX technology or DEX, and they can, the easy way for them is they can, they can directly purchase LRC tokens and burn it off. If you burn off 1% of the LRC tokens, then your tokens will be equivalent or tied up with the LRC tokens fee rate. So if you burn off 1%, your token will also be the first tier token in Loopring DEX systems. So anyone who pay with your token can also be 50%. Can also receive 50% discount.
Okay, pretty cool. With, say, Ethereum's TPSs, its scalability issues. Recently, we have Constantinople with its EIPs, and then potentially in the future with Serenity, the change over to proof of stake, the consensus algorithm, the Ethereum 2.0. Now, you mentioned earlier on that Neo's 3.0 and 3.0, and they've got some problems, but I know Ethereum's got some problems with speed, and that sort of affects you guys. So I think that these improvements long term, Ethereum's going to get better. They're going to get faster. What do you think about that, Jay?
Absolutely, totally agree. Talked to a few developers from Ethereum core team, and looks positive. And I'm also positive. but but Loopring, our protocol is not limited by the Ethereum infrastructure or TPS. We have another great solution. As I mentioned before, we now can use the sidechain to do the settlement and clearing. So right now, the Ethereum's TPS is like 15 transactions per second. Even the after upgrade, probably will get 10 times faster. But still, there's a limit there compared to the centralized systems. Visa can handle like 30,000 transactions or 300,000 transactions per second. So it's not comparable at all. But what we can do right now is we actually going to create a sidechain on the Ethereum. So the sidechain's TPS is currently we have tested it. It's like 5,000 per second. So in the future, we will put all the small amount transaction on the Ethereum sidechain to do the settlement and clearing. And then the reason we only put small amount of transaction on sidechain is because sidechain is not as safe as the mainnet. But it's safe enough for the small amount of transaction because hacker won't target on those small like $1 or $10 transaction and not worth it. But if the transaction over, for example, is like $100 or $200 or $500, then we will put on the mainnet to do the settlement and clearing, which would massively increase our DEX speed.
Cool. So when I think of sidechains, I think of like on Ethereum, like Plasma and that sort of thing. So it's good that you guys are looking at sidechain solutions. And I guess being agnostic, you have the beauty of like in the future across multiple blockchains. So where you're the back end agnostic system, you could potentially have multiple blockchains, and if they do well, then in turn Loopring does well. So you haven't got your eggs all in one basket.
Yeah. We do because right now we still think Ethereum has the most potential, but who knows in the future, right? Maybe there's another one come out, better solution, better user face. We don't know. That's why we're trying to be open-minded. As long as there's good technology come out, then we will adopt it.
Yeah, definitely. So what's 2019 got in store for you guys? Like, I know you've recently released at the end of last year the version 2.0. So with version 2.1 and 2.2, what they look at doing?
2.1 was great for us because we have learned a lot from it. Like to be honest, we built up 2.1. We built up the 1.0 from the scratch, and then 2.1 was just released. No, 2.0 just released. 2.1 is on the way. It's almost done, and so we are expecting 3.0 to be released hopefully by end of this year, and 3.0 will be. We've talked to people in the industry, so we never see people have actually implemented this kind of technology with protocol layers. So it will be really cool. But I can't say too much about 3.0 at the moment because I don't want people to think we just bullshit. Like people like us, we really like hands down and work on our ass. We want to make things happen before we tell the community.
Yeah, you want to make sure that you can deliver it first before you want it. Yeah.
Yes. Let the results speak self.
Yeah, definitely. And something else I noticed was the Protocol 2X is something that you guys are working on. I like the fact that the community can have more say in the governance of Loopring as well. So I think that's a really good thing that you guys are working on.
We actually did that at the beginning because it was inspired by Neil at the beginning because Neil has a course, the city of the zone. So we talked to the president of the course, and he gave us this idea, which is exactly what the 0x is doing right now, decentralized governance. We try a little bit, but case by case. It might work on this project, but it won't work for every project. So, yeah. But as I say, Loopring is an open source protocol. So in the future, it should be community governance. I totally agree. Anyone can contribute, and anyone can work on Loopring protocol. It's not like someone sent me an email says, "Hey Jay, can I work for you? Here's my resume." It shouldn't work like that. So it should be like there's a task there. Or there should have a smart contract there, like anyone who contribute, then smart contract will give it back or incentivize or rewards these people.
Yeah, cool, Jay. So, is there anything more you'd like to share before we wrap up, mate?
I went to Hong Kong last week to attend a very formal and a traditional event. It's called Asian Financial Forum. Like all those big banks, JP Morgan, HSBC, president was there. Previous ex-president of World Bank was there. Our team was there, and we announced a joint paper research. So we have worked with PwC Hong Kong on stablecoin study, and we will probably issue the final paper in about a week time. And Loopring supports all ERC20 stablecoin regardless of the issues. Our protocol will not require tokens to be whitelisted by us. Relays in our ecosystem can solely decide which ERC tokens they support in terms of token listing. In 2019, we will deliver a new relay implementation and make it accessible to all partners. To bootstrap adoption, and stablecoin support is definitely a part of. So, so let people know that Loopring protocol is open to anyone, and we are happy to talk to people who are interested to develop a DEX or develop a decentralized exchange or wallets on top of our Loopring protocol. We even have a very we don't require people to build up the DEX from the scratch because we already have a wallet there, so people can just fork the code and build a DEX on top of our wallet and just change the skins and logos.
So you can provide you guys can provide the support, provide the tools necessary to help developers build their own DEXs and to turn a wallet into a mini decentralized exchange.
Yes, it's already on our website, loopring.org, and there's a bunch of documentations you can read and instructions there.
I'll put the links down below for Loopring if you wish to check Loopring out. Now, Jay, thank you so much for your time.
Yes, please.
I just want to just let the viewers know that I just provide a platform which these projects to share on. I'm not a financial advisor, not saying you to go and buy LRC tokens or anything like that. I just I like projects that catch my eye and projects that I take interest in, that I might be interested in, and I like to just share it with you guys to see if you want to get involved or not. So that's just my quick disclaimer. Jay, it's been a privilege talking to you, mate, and I hope you have a wonderful time when you come over here to Australia.
Oh yeah, man, I'm looking forward. Yeah, I can't wait to jump into water, man.
Yeah, go to South Bank, go to the lagoon there. Oh, it'd be great. I love South Bank in Brisbane. You just go there, have a beer, nice cold beer, and just relax. Hey.
Yeah, nice. Can't wait. Probably don't have time to go everyone, but I will try to visit as many as possible.
Yeah, great stuff, Jay. Well, thank you so much and have a wonderful day, hey?
Thank you, man. Happy holidays.
Yeah, happy holidays.
Take
See you
care.
later, mate. Bye.